The reason this program is important is because, as you may have noticed, as we're going into a recession, and I suspect unemployment's going to scream. I see more people here in Arizona standing on street corners and all this saying, veteran, please give me a buck or something like this. And I just can't believe they're wasting their time begging for money. This guy was a pretty young guy standing on the corner begging. And it's not good. So we're heading back, I think, into the 1920s. Very good chance we're in the middle of a drought right now. This is a 90-year cycle in bad weather. So the economy is in very serious shape. Our school system teaches us to be employees, but we really do need to be more and more in sales. And the reason I'm sensitive to it is my poor dad, who has a PhD, he hated salesmen. And so I grew up him always speaking badly about salesmen. And his idea of success in life was get another college degree. And he died poor. And but he couldn't sell. And then my rich dad, who was my best friend's father, when I got out of the Marine Corps and my poor dad wanted me to go fly for the airlines, I said, I'm done flying. He says, well, go back to school, get your PhD. I said, I'll wind up like you, poor, helpless, and desperate, PhD. So I said to my rich dad, who was my best friend's father, I said, I want to be an entrepreneur like you, because he was raising me since I was 10. And he says, well, then you better learn how to sell. And I went, and so that's when the two fathers clashed. Well, they clashed a lot while I was growing up. But I had such a negative impression of selling, because my whole family hated salespeople. And so I begged my rich dad, I said, oh, please, there's got to be another way. How can I be an entrepreneur without learning how to sell? He says, you can't do it. It's the number one skill of an entrepreneur. I just couldn't believe what he was saying to me. So finally, out of desperation, I was begging my rich dad, and my poor dad said, I told you, get your PhD, get your master's, get your PhD, fly for the airlines. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be an employee like him. And then so finally I asked my rich dad, is there a way, what's going on? He goes, look, how's your sex life, Robert? And I said, it's terrible. He says, because you can't sell. What do you think? So with that, I was getting out of the Marine Corps station in Kaneohe, Hawaii, the Marine Corps station in Hawaii. And I applied to two companies, IBM and Xerox. And IBM had a great sales training program, and Xerox had a great sales training program. When I met the IBM recruiter, he turned me off. He was so boring. And I met the Xerox sales guys, and they were drunk and yelling and screaming, having a good time. I said, I think I'm going to join Xerox. And so with that, they sent me to sales school in Leesburg, Virginia. And then they gave me a little handy-dandy little briefcase. They said, hit the street and cold call. That was one of the most painful experiences of my life, going around, hi, Xerox, get the hell out of here, you son of a bitch. I got too many. And as I learned quite early, salesmanship begins when the customer says no. The last thing about this is this: when I met Kim, she said no for 6 months. But if I hadn't learned how to sell, I'd never got to Kim. But I was persistent, because I think the number one skill of an entrepreneur, and when I find people who are poor or struggling or financially in trouble, is because they can't sell. And the thing they're most afraid of is rejection. And so they just want everybody to say yes to them and be liked and nice, but it traps people. So it's the number one skill of an entrepreneur. That's why, Donald Trump and I, the only two guys, is before he ran for president, we're the only two guys that endorse network marketing or direct sales, what do you want to call it? We endorse it because it's the number one skill of an entrepreneur. And Trump is a pretty good salesman. And my best friend, when I met at Xerox in 1974, he just sold his business for $2 billion. And he doesn't have a college degree, but he can sell. He says, I'm a Mormon missionary. Mormon missionaries can sell. And when you think about it, so when I meet people who are poor or struggling or financially trapped in a job they hate, it's because they can't sell. So that's why Rich Dad and Donald Trump, and my Robert Kiyosaki and Donald Trump endorse network marketing and things like this. We have two books that we promote here. Is The Business of the 21st Century. And the other one here is The Business School for people who like helping people. And especially as the economy deteriorates, this is October 2022, we're in serious trouble financially, sports fans. We have the most incompetent president I've ever seen in my whole life. I mean, that guy is a puppet for the Green New Deal greenies and liberals and all that stuff. And you can vote for Biden again if you like. It's a free country. But if you lose your job, he can't save you, because he's actually doing a lot to destroy the economy. Not too many guys are going to get hired by Xerox or IBM. But everybody can join a network marketing company. And the good thing is you can't get fired from network marketing. I almost got fired several times at Xerox because I couldn't sell, And so anyway, that's why Donald Trump and I, and people hate the guy, I know that, but he can sell. I mean, you have to be able to sell to build high-rises in New York City and fight the unions. He's got to be a tough guy rather than that crime syndicate called the Biden family. Jesus Christ, they make money the old-fashioned way. It's called corruption. So at least Donald takes the unions on head on. And the reason is, if you don't really want to help somebody, then you just go to school. It's all about you, And the thing I like, again, I'll say it, is that you call it residual income. The reason I like real estate is I get what I call passive income, forever. It's my property. I don't ever sell. I just stop. But the other thing I noticed was that even at Xerox, they flew me to Leesburg, Virginia, first class, just getting out of the Marine Corps. Again, my poor dad was going, you should go back to get a college degree. You're going to be a salesman? You're going to be a salesman? Oh my God. He was so anti the academic elite because he's a PhD. And the academic elite, as you know, they're a bunch of weirdos today. They're the ones screwing up the whole economy, in my opinion. They're Marxists. I'm a U.S. Marine. And the other one's the business school for the 21st century, because it really is about networks. When you look at why blockchain works and why Bitcoin works, is they build networks. But if you go to school, you get a job, you're just a cog in the wheel. But the thing I want to say is this: I nearly got fired so many times from Xerox, just like, it's a good thing I didn't stand in my high-heeled shoes in a bikini, because I've been fired immediately. But it was, that's not a pretty sight.
Oh my God, what a visual.
But anyway, it's that you take your, and they can't fire you. Do you know what I mean? You quit, right? So that's why I want to get into, why do people quit when the going gets tough? That's not a U.S. Marine attitude. Do you know what I mean? When the going gets tough, you get smarter. But most people today are such, snowflakes. They should be TikTok dancers and all that stuff. Or they can make a lot of money doing TikTok or porno or whatever they want to do today.